My beloved child, I walk above and see the winding paths you have yet to notice. There are roads that appear radiant but lead at last to the pit of suffering. My child, stop before it is too late, for no wound is worth the loss of eternal peace for your soul. There are shadows that do not arrive with a scream but hide quietly behind familiar smiles. There are snares not forged with chains but sweetly concealed in words that seem harmless. And there are souls who seem to be alive but are quietly fading because they have forgotten the light of God. Darkness does not always announce itself with storms and thunder. It often comes cloaked in the familiar, wrapped in things you believe are harmless. A wandering gaze behind a forced smile, a false peace you rush to believe is real. These are all signs the Spirit is whispering to you. God sees into the hidden places of the heart where no human eye can reach. When you ignore such signs, you place yourself inside an invisible whirlpool where peace is slowly stolen without your knowing. When Solomon, the one granted unmatched wisdom, allowed foreign loves to creep into his palace, he did not recognize the darkness seeping into his life. He built altars for foreign gods, believing it a way to keep peace, but in truth he opened the door to his own downfall. You see, darkness rarely storms in. It clings quietly, hiding beneath the familiar, weakening the heart without your notice. Therefore, do not despise those moments of unrest in your soul. When a smile no longer reaches the eyes, when your heart hears a sigh you try to ignore, this is the moment to pause, for God is still whispering. Do not deceive yourself. I see what you wish to bury. Learn to recognize the traps of compromise with darkness. Forgiveness may come later, peace may be restored, but first you must discern the falsehood wearing a familiar face. My child, remember, not everything close to you is healthy for you. Darkness does not knock with a roar, it often arrives as a gentle murmur. A friend may smile at you, yet sow seeds of unease in your heart. A small habit you dismiss may silently drain the sacred life from your soul. When you can no longer distinguish true light from false light, you stand on the fragile edge of being lost. God sees what your eyes cannot, and He desires that you gain wisdom to stop, listen, and step out of what feels familiar but is slowly killing your peace. I know there are moments when your heart trembles and you refuse to admit it. You tell others you are fine, you smile to reassure, yet inside you feel empty like an abandoned house. Darkness often hides there in the silence you are trying to conceal. Consider, are you living in a familiar rhythm while your soul is quietly crying out? That is the moment of danger. I do not want you merely to exist. I want you truly to live. When I look down, I see what you cannot face. I see the weary eyes behind the smile. I see the bitterness suppressed beneath sweet words. You think you hide it well, but how can you hide from me, the one who searches the heart? As Scripture says, man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 1:6-7. That is why I do not condemn your weakness. I only long for you to be brave enough to face it and return before darkness engulfs your life. Many times you wonder why some around you seem friendly, yet leave you feeling unsettled. You are not wrong to sense this. Some souls do not dwell in the light. They carry an invisible darkness. If you stubbornly keep them close to prove your compassion, you may lose the peace I have given you. Forgiveness and mercy do not mean allowing yourself to be destroyed. Keeping a distance is not hatred. It is protecting the sacred life within you. Too often your compassion overrides your wisdom. You think you can change others, pull them from the pit. But remember, there are things only I can mend. When you try to bear my role, you wound yourself even more. Darkness thrives on debate, drawing you into endless exchanges until your soul is exhausted. I want you to learn wise silence, to retreat when needed, so you are not dragged into the spiral of deception. The downfall of many souls does not begin with obvious evil, but with seemingly harmless concessions. Just once. It's only a small thing. These are the seeds by which darkness grows. When you take them lightly, they become habits. Habits become chains, and once chained, you can no longer break free on your own. My child, I do not want to see you trapped in a snare you yourself have nourished. Sometimes darkness enters through comparison and envy. You see what others have and your heart quietly resents. I understand your unhealed wounds can turn into roots of pride and hatred, but revenge never brings peace. It only repeats the cycle of pain, keeping old wounds bleeding. When the heart lacks my light, it easily feeds bitterness, and that bitterness leads to death. You may think you are walking in the light, yet it is only the dim glow of a dying lamp. I have said before, if the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? Matthew 6:2-3. The danger is not the obvious night, but the false light that lulls you to sleep in deception. Familiar relationships, daily pleasures, habits you consider harmless, all can be the outer garment of a pit opening beneath your feet. I know you do not mean to walk into the dark. Yet neglecting the small signs makes you vulnerable. When a smile no longer warms, when you hush the sigh of your own soul, you have already let darkness take root. It does not crash down like a waterfall, but drips like water on stone, hollowing it day by day. You believe you are at peace, but that peace is as fragile as morning mist gone with the rising Sunday. Understand the root of straying lies, not outside, but within the heart. When you compromise too easily, thinking just one more time won't matter, you open the door to the thief. Hidden darkness need not frighten you if you recognize and stop it, but it becomes a shackle when you turn away. I do not want you to lose the light I have planted in you. To keep it, you must guard your soul like a watchman guarding treasure. Remember, you cannot fight everything alone. There are things only I can see, warnings only my spirit can give in time. So when unease rises within you, do not mistake it for weakness. It is my whisper calling you to stop before it is too late. Like Solomon granted wisdom yet undone by small compromises, you too risk your inner kingdom fading from within. A great fire does not die out at once. It grows cold when each small ember is left unattended. That is why I call you back. Do not pretend everything is fine. Dare to face what is quietly draining your life. Forgive yourself for wandering, but be decisive in leaving the false safety behind. I will give you new eyes to see the true light, and new ears to hear my prompting. When you choose to return, darkness will lose its power over you. Only then will you truly walk in peace, a peace no one can steal. From that place you will recognize the distances you must keep and the ties you must release, not from hatred but to protect your very life. I know it is not easy to let go. You long for justice, to see those who hurt you pay. But remember, my justice is not man's justice. I am the righteous judge, restoring truth at the right time. When you forgive, you are not weak, but entrusting judgment into my hands. Forgiveness is the key that frees your heart from its burden, so you can walk forward, unbound by the past. My beloved child, I have heard your cries in the night when you thought no one knew. I know each wound you carry, and I also know you cannot heal yourself. Only when you release and let me act will you truly be healed. Forgiveness is not compromise with darkness, but the act of laying down the burden to step into the light. Trust that once you place everything in my hands, I will transform what was meant for destruction into an opportunity for you to grow. So do not chase the mirage of peace any longer. Do not dim your light just to make others comfortable. Continue to live with kindness and patience even when it is not returned. Your obedience opens doors you cannot yet see. I am always preparing something better for you, but first you must dare to step out of the hidden darkness that binds your soul. Engrave this truth in your heart, recognizing darkness is not to be afraid of it, but to protect the light. Once you learn to discern what is true and what is false, you will walk with a steadier heart. From that place you will understand some distances must be kept, some silences are wisdom, and some retreats are protection for your soul from the spiral of evil. My beloved, I know your heart often feels torn between loyalty and the longing for peace. You think that stepping back means coldness or rejection, but I tell you sometimes stepping away is not turning your back but keeping your inner lamp from being snuffed out. Some relationships are not meant for a lifetime. Some people are only companions for a season. Letting them go does not mean you have failed in love. True love never means permitting darkness to touch your soul. Forgiveness is one thing. Allowing evil to keep manipulating your life is another. I want you to learn wisdom. Love does not always mean closeness. Sometimes it means standing at a distance while still praying. If you cling to what is draining your life, you will lose yourself. Do not confuse kindness with blindness, for the enemy knows how to use your very compassion to wear you down. Look at Jesus as he walked the earth. He loved all, but he did not always let everyone stay close. At times he withdrew from the crowds. At times he took only a few trusted disciples. And at times he was alone with the Father on the mountain. That was not rejection, but the way he preserved the light within him from being drowned out by the noise of the world. My child, I want you to learn the same. Choose your quiet spaces. Keep the necessary distances so your heart has room for peace. Many souls fall not because they cannot love, but because they do not set boundaries. They give too much and grow empty. They endure too long and are destroyed. Remember, forgiveness is a duty, but self-protection is also obedience. I did not create you to be a sacrifice to evil, but a witness to the light. When you keep the right distance, you give me the chance to work on others instead of exhausting yourself trying to fix what you cannot. Stop arguing with darkness. It does not need your words. It only wants to pull you into chaos. When you find yourself always explaining, always trying to prove yourself, it is a sign you are being drawn into a battle without end. I have not called you to endless debate, but to live in peace. When you step back, you are not weak. You are handing authority to me, the only one able to judge and change hearts. So do not fear setting boundaries. Such distance does not make you unfeeling. It gives you the chance to keep your love pure. Loving from afar, praying from afar, sometimes that is true love. For true love does not coerce, does not imprison, does not harm. And from the peace you preserve, you will find strength to forgive and to continue walking lightly. My child, be at peace. I will never abandon you when you choose to protect yourself. On the contrary, I will make your peace a mirror in which others may see their own reflection. You do not need to prove anything by remaining close. Simply continue living in the light, and the darkness will recognize the difference on its own. And you will see keeping a distance is not an ending, but the beginning of a deeper journey of growth, where you learn that forgiveness and self-protection always walk together. My child, when you step out of chaos, your heart will grow lighter, and the light within you will shine brighter than ever. That is also the moment you will realize that the root of vengeance, pride, envy, and wounds left unhealed still lies hidden somewhere waiting for its chance to sprout. My beloved child, there is a truth you find hard to accept. The root of vengeance does not lie in sudden actions, but in silent wounds that have never been healed. Wounded pride, secret envy, and pains long buried all become fertile soil where evil takes root. You think you have forgotten, but in truth you have only hidden it away, and whenever it is touched, the pain flares up with greater force. And in a moment of weakness, the darkness whispers, "Take back what was taken from you." My child, vengeance has never brought true satisfaction. It is like drinking salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become, the more you seek, the emptier you feel. You think that causing others pain will ease your own, but can you not see that your heart only grows heavier? A wound cannot be healed by another wound. That is why Scripture teaches, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 1:2-1. For vengeance never solves evil. It only gives the darkness more room in your soul. Sometimes you harbor envy within. You see others have what you do not. You see them honored while you are forgotten. Envy never stands alone. It draws bitterness and suspicion after it. Like Cain of old, when Abel's offering was accepted and his was not, he let envy blind his eyes, and it led to the first act of bloodshed on earth. You see, even a small thought, if not surrendered to me, can become the rage that kills a brother. You are not so different from Cain when you let envy smolder and kindle vengeance. Pride, too, is a subtle snare. When you are insulted, you feel your honor diminished, and you long to restore justice by your own strength. But my child, pride blinds your eyes to the truth. It makes you place yourself above love, above truth, even above me. When your pride is wounded, you easily mistake vengeance for dignity, but in truth it only impoverishes your soul. True honor does not lie in retaliation, but in keeping your peace even when you are brought low. I know there are pains too deep for you to release easily. People have disappointed you, betrayed you, even pushed you to the edge. You keep silent, you endure, yet inside the wound still bleeds. That is where the darkness takes root, whispering in your weakness. Demand justice with your own hands. But my child, your justice will never be enough. Only my justice can heal. If you retaliate, you only lengthen the cycle. But if you let me touch it, I will turn the wound into a place of blessing and transform your weakness into strength to love. Think of it this way: vengeance is like building a prison for yourself. You lock the one who hurt you inside your memory, but you are locked in there too. The more you dwell on the injury, the more you become your own prisoner. You wish the other would suffer, but in truth, you bear the heaviest burden. I did not create you to live in such chains. I created you to be free, and that freedom comes only when you refuse to nourish vengeance. Look to the cross, where my only son bore all sin and sorrow. He was mocked, crucified, and yet his words were not vengeance, but Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Luke 2:3-4. Do you see? Forgiveness is not weakness, but the strength of love. Vengeance only repeats death. Forgiveness opens the way to new life. If you truly want to be free, you must learn to forgive, even when you feel you cannot. Remember, my child, every bitterness you nurture has a root. When you find the root pride, envy, or an unhealed wound, you will understand what you must do. Not to blame yourself, but to offer it to me. When you bring that root into my light, it loses its power. And only then can you step out of the thirst for revenge. So pause, my beloved. Dare to look deep within and acknowledge the wounds you have buried. I do not wait for you to be perfect before coming close. I wait for you to be weak so I can heal you. You do not need to pretend to be strong. You only need to come with empty hands, and I will fill them. And when you experience my forgiveness, you will see there is no reason left to nourish vengeance. Once you lay down that burden, your heart will grow lighter, and the light will return. You will understand that forgiveness is the key, not only to unlock another's prison, but also your own. And then you will know forgiveness is not the end, but the beginning of a new journey, a journey of protection and liberation for your heart. My beloved child, forgiveness is not an easy path, but it is the only path to freedom for your heart. I know you have tried many times to let go, yet painful memories return and make you feel you have failed. Do not blame yourself, for forgiveness is not a moment's act, but a long journey where you must learn to place each fragment of your heart into my hands. Forgiveness does not erase the truth, but keeps the darkness from using that truth to bind you forever. Many think forgiveness is weakness, a surrender of weapons before the one who harmed them. But in my eyes, forgiveness is strength. It is like an invisible victory where you choose to trust my justice rather than grasp the scales yourself. Do you know when you forgive, you are declaring to the darkness, you no longer have power over me. Forgiveness does not make you small. It draws you nearer to my heart where true power dwells. Sometimes you fear that if you forgive, you will be used, trampled again. But my child, forgiveness does not mean allowing others to harm you anew. Forgiveness is releasing resentment, and wisdom is knowing how to set boundaries. You can still guard your peace while refusing to let hatred poison your soul. Forgiveness does not erase memory, but it removes the venom from memory so the wound can heal without festering. Remember, justice is never lost in my hands. When you release vengeance, you are giving me the right to judge. Vengeance is mine. I will repay. Romans 1:2-19. You do not need to carry that weight, for I am the righteous judge who knows the right time and way. Forgiveness is handing over the control to me so you can walk lightly instead of bending under a burden that was never yours to bear. I want you to understand that forgiveness is not only for others, but first for yourself. When you refuse to forgive, you bind your heart with invisible chains. You think you are punishing the other, but in truth, you are the one imprisoned. When you forgive, you release your soul from the prison of the past and open the door to new life. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks, not for someone else, but first for you. I know there are wounds so deep you think you could never forgive, but my child, you do not have to do it alone. Forgiveness is my gift, not your strength. When you pray, Father, help me forgive, my spirit moves within you. He places in your heart a love beyond understanding, so you can say, I forgive even when your feelings have not yet caught up. Forgiving by faith opens the door for your emotions to heal. Look again at Jesus on the cross. He bore shame, pain, betrayal, and yet he spoke words of forgiveness. His forgiveness did not only free those who nailed him there, but opened the way of salvation for all humanity. If my son forgave at the hour of his greatest suffering, you too can learn to forgive in your pain. Forgiveness is walking in His footsteps, so that light may conquer darkness within you. And do you know, once you forgive, you will find your heart stronger than ever. No longer dragged back by resentment, no longer tormented by old memories, you will walk free in light. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it changes the present and the future. It turns sorrow into the foundation for a life that is deeper, steadier, and filled with peace. When you learn forgiveness, you will see forgiveness not only frees you, but shields your heart from new arrows of darkness. A heart that forgives is a heart hard to wound, because it is always covered by light. And from that place you will see the journey of forgiveness opens the way to a life of greater trust and deeper peace, where you are no longer bound by the past, but guided into the abundant life I have prepared for you. My child, each morning when you awaken, you stand before a crossroad you hardly notice. Not a path outside, but a path within. One leads to life, the other leans toward death. This choice is not loud or dazzling. It is often hidden in the smallest decisions of the day. Will you choose to forgive or to hold on to resentment? Will you choose to speak kindness or to sow bitterness? Will you choose to keep your heart pure or to compromise with darkness? These small choices, repeated, weave the destiny of your life. Long ago I spoke through Moses, I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life that you and your descendants may live. Deuteronomy 3:0-19. You see, the choice is in your hands, but its consequences reach further than you think. A decision that seems harmless today may become the foundation of an entire life. Like a small seed planted in the ground, it will grow into a tree. If left to wither in your hand, it will bear no fruit. Many times you make excuses. Just once, it's only a small thing. But my child, no spiral of destruction ever begins with something grand. It always starts with a small step disregarded. You overlook a harmless lie and soon deceit feels normal. You indulge a bitter thought and soon it becomes a way of life. Death does not enter with a roar but with a whisper of compromise. And day by day you drift from life without even knowing it. But by those same small steps you can walk into life. When you choose silence instead of useless argument, when you choose prayer instead of bitter words, when you step back to keep peace instead of proving yourself right, you are placing your feet on the path of life. Each time you choose what is good, the light within you grows a little brighter, and the darkness loses a little more power. No one becomes holy in a single night, and no one falls into ruin in a single moment. All comes from daily choices. My dear child, life is not a gift I give only once, but a stream you must choose to receive moment by moment. I keep offering you light, but you may choose to close your eyes. I keep offering you the bread of life, but you may choose to turn away. My love does not coerce, it only invites. And your answer is written in the small decisions of your everyday life. You may ask, how do I know I am walking in life? I tell you the sign when your heart is at peace even amid storms, when your heart is full of love even when others hurt you, when you remain faithful even when the results are not yet visible. That is the proof you are walking in the light. Life does not dwell in what you hold outwardly, but in the hidden strength that nourishes your soul. On the other hand, death is not only when breath stops. Death begins when you slowly lose your faith, when you allow bitterness to take over, when you live without purpose. A hardened heart, a weary soul, an empty life. This is death creeping in. You were not created to live like this. You were created to shine brightly, to bring life, to become a witness of my light. My child, awaken. Every day I give you the chance to choose again. Even if yesterday you chose wrongly, today you can still return. You are not defined by your missteps, but you will be shaped by the step you take today. If only you decide once more, I choose life, I will open a new door and lead you out of the darkness. It is never too late to return to me. Be courageous, for life does not always travel along easy roads. You will feel lonely as you step out of the crowd heading into the shadows. You will feel mocked when you choose forgiveness instead of revenge, when you choose peace instead of striving. But my child, life never resides in fleeting applause. It rests in the eternal light I have prepared for you. Choose life today, and you will see its fruit in eternity. And as you learn to live each day in that choice, you will find you are no longer a slave to emotions, to circumstances, or to invisible chains. You will become truly free, for you will be walking in the light. And in that freedom you will know how to keep peace, to forgive unceasingly, to love without running dry, and to remain steadfast even when darkness presses in around you. My child, this is the final warning I long to give. Do not think you can postpone forever. Every day you live without choosing life is a step closer to death. But every day you dare to choose light, to choose what is good to choose. Me, you are stepping closer to blessings beyond imagination. Life and death stand before you, but I implore you, choose life. And when you choose life, you do not only save yourself, you also become a lamp to guide lost souls. The light within you will shine into the darkness around you, and others will see that there is another way, the way that leads to peace, to love, to everlasting life. My beloved, be still and listen, for what I am about to say is not to frighten you, but to make you stand firm amid the storm. Do not let the darkness outside or the darkness within make you waver. When you let your heart wrestle with gloom, it will drag you down like a bottomless pit. But when you stop resisting in your own strength, when you cease the desperate struggle and instead trust in me, I myself will rise up, walk ahead of you, and drive away all that has been secretly harming you. I know you have endured weary days, that you have gone to sleep many nights with tears still wet on your cheeks, that you have tried to love yet received only indifference or abuse. In every one of those moments I have been beside you, witnessing your patience and your kindness even when the world did not see. I understand the pain you hold in your chest on lonely nights when it is just you and the dark. I hear your question whispered through sorrow, Lord, why do they hurt me when I have done them no harm? Every sigh, every lament of yours has not vanished into nothingness. All of it has reached me. And today I speak to you as a warning full of love. The pain ahead is not a destiny you must endure. It can be avoided if you heed this voice. Among the people you know, there is one hiding true intentions behind a friendly facade. He may speak gentle words, he may smile before you, but inside he harbors jealousy and schemes. He seeks to pull you down not because of your faults, but because his pride has been wounded. That pride is like a poisonous seed rooted deep in his soul, giving birth to dark thoughts. Do not out of kindness give him the trust that belongs only to sincere hearts. Keep a necessary distance, not out of hatred but out of awareness. I do not call you to despise. I call you to protect the peace I have placed in your heart. Do not share with him your secret plans, your budding dreams, or your hidden fears. Do not hand another person the key to the inner sanctuary of your heart, that sacred place only I can guard and heal. Keep these things between you and me, for there are moments when you must be quiet, like a seed lying in the soil waiting to sprout without being touched by strange hands. Your heart is the holy place I have chosen as my dwelling. It is not a playground for everyone to trample through, nor a storage for others to dump their bitterness and leave. It is a garden with fences, with gates, with its own light, and only those led by truth are worthy to enter. Do not think this caution is coldness. It is how you honor the purity I have given you. You do not need to prove your generosity by letting others step into your most hidden places, for true generosity sometimes means saying no to protect yourself. Do not fear that keeping your private things will make you lonely. I am here to fill that loneliness with my living presence, with a peace no one can take away. My beloved, I want you to prepare for change. There will be people who leave doors, that close calls that no longer come. All of this is not rejection or failure, but my arrangement to purify your path. You have asked me for peace, but true peace cannot coexist with hidden enemies. I must remove harmful things from your way, even if it pains you for a time. When you feel familiar ties being cut, do not cling or run after them. Let them go like leaves falling from branches in autumn. It is not loss, but preparation for the new buds of spring. I know you have a forgiving heart. Forgiveness is a quality of love, but forgiveness does not mean blindness. You can forgive, yet still keep distance to protect yourself. You can love, but from afar. You can care, but without opening the door for others to wound you again. Wisdom is not opposed to love. It is love matured. You must learn that some relationships exist only for a season, and when that season ends, they must be released. Do not hold on to what I am trying to take from your hands, for I take only to give you something better. When I close a door, I am not leaving you in a dark room. I am preparing to open a window for new light to stream in. Every shaking you are about to experience is a gentle nudge to place you where you belong. Every person's departure from your life is a protection you may not yet see. When whispers of lies circulate behind your back, you need not chase them to defend your honor. I myself will handle these things. I will bring the truth to light at the right time, not too early, not too late. Your only task is to stand still, steadfast, and trust me. My beloved, I know this may cause you pain and confusion. You will ask why what was once familiar has now become strange. But do not forget that I am not a God who loves you only in sunny days. I am with you even when storms come. Do not measure my presence by feelings or circumstances. Even when you do not see, I am working like a craftsman, silently setting jewels into a crown until the day it shines. View these losses as branches being pruned, painful at first, but helping the tree bear more fruit. I am pruning your life so you may blossom in the coming season. Do not mistake stillness for abandonment. I am clearing the path before you, laying stones on the road whose full view you cannot yet see. You only need to walk step by step in trust, and each step will lead you out of danger. You must also learn to be silent in love. Love does not always need to be spoken or proven by constant presence. Sometimes mature love is knowing when to step back, to place both the other and yourself into my hands, to let me do what you cannot. Caring does not mean interfering. Loving does not mean opening the door to every wound. I want you to see love not merely as an emotion, but as a deliberate act guided by wisdom from above. The sooner you learn this, the less you will be hurt by those who do not value your love. Do not fear slander. Do not fear being misunderstood. Do not fear that your stillness and silence will make people think you weak. You are not weak when you allow me to fight for you. You are giving me the chance to display my strength in your life. Every lie will collapse like a sandcastle before the waves. Every scheme will be exposed by the very one who made it. You need not rush to justify yourself. You need only to walk in peace and faithfulness to what I have spoken. You may be tired, you may cry, you may feel weak before me, but do not let bitterness take root within you. Keep your heart tender, but do not let it become prey for others. Be gentle yet wise, kind yet alert. My beloved, when I call you to guard your heart, I am not only speaking of avoiding harm, I am speaking of protecting what I am planting within you. In your heart are seeds of blessing ideas. I have placed dreams waiting to form. If the wrong person touches them, they may crush them before they sprout. That is why I ask you to keep them hidden. Do not see it as a burden. See it as guarding a treasure. When the time is right, I, myself, will bring those seeds into the light. Then no one can deny it, for it will be my work, not yours. Remember, I am your shield, your fortress. When you stand behind me, no force can harm you unless I permit it. You do not need to live in fear, only in wisdom and obedience. Do not let the coming changes make you doubt my love. Every shaking, every loss is part of my plan to protect you. I do not leave you alone. I do not call you out of something without leading you into something greater and better. When you look back one day, you will see that every separation today was salvation for tomorrow. You will be grateful for the closed doors, for the people who left, because they opened the way for the blessings I have prepared. Stand firm, my child. Let me do my part. Give me the trust you so often give to people. Hold on to peace as your treasure. Do not let it slip away just to please someone else. And when you feel lonely in this transition, remember that I am still holding you. I never leave you alone. Let these words sink deep into your heart like a stream flowing through a desert, nourishing the hope you thought had dried up. Let me fight for you. You need only listen and follow. This is not the end, but the beginning of a new season you have never known. My beloved child, do not think that my silent protection is something to take for granted, for every moment I reach out to pull you from the edge is woven from my boundless love for you. The things you do not see, the dangers you do not yet feel, all have been very near, like a dark wave about to sweep you away, but I have stopped it with my invisible arm. Many times you have walked close to the cliff without knowing, but I have set your feet on solid ground before the rock fell, before the fierce wind could knock you down. Today is the same. Once again, I am pulling you out of that chaos, but this time I do not only want to act for you, I want you to walk with me, to partner with me in every decision. I need your choice, your cooperation, because love does not force. I want your heart to trust me willingly, like a child leaning on its father's shoulder, knowing that no matter how wild the storm outside, in my arms there is still peace. You carry within you a heart as gentle as a sweet spring in a barren desert, a gift I gave you before you were formed in your mother's womb. That heart is light, it is warmth. I want the world to touch, but every light has those who wish to snuff it out, every stream those who wish to pollute it. Some see the gentleness in you and mistake it for weakness. They confuse kindness with cowardice, meekness with lack of strength. But I see deeper. I see that this very gentleness is a form of strength rare in this world. This strength is not for you to bow and endure, but for you to be a refuge for withered souls, to stand firm in the storm without losing your essence, to spread warmth, even while you yourself are in the winter of life. I know you have often asked yourself why people change. You have seen hands that once held you, now turn to push you down, promises that once felt warm, now become blades that pierce your heart. You have sighed, Lord, why do human hearts change so quickly? And I have spoken to you not because I ignored your question, but because I wanted you to understand one thing: people change when their roots are not planted deeply in my love. When a heart drifts away from the spring of love, it withers, hardens, and grows cold. When love disappears, that space is quickly filled with the hunger for control, with pride, with schemes of revenge. But you, my child, do not let yourself slide down that road. However cold the world may grow, keep the fire in your heart. Do not let the north wind extinguish your flame. Do not let pain turn you into someone you are not. Do not become bitter just because you have tasted bitterness. I am here to teach you, to show you how to be both kind and wise, to love yet set boundaries, so that your heart remains gentle, but is no longer wounded without cause. Remember that you were not born to be exploited. You were born to shine, to be a witness to the love I have poured into this world. That light is not meant to be hidden, but to illuminate the way, not to be dimmed by the darkness of others, but to radiate into the deepest shadows. You do not need to answer lies with angry words. You do not need to fight with shouting. Your weapon is peace, and when you choose peace, you hand that battle over to me. You cannot see it, but when you keep silent, I am working behind the curtain, overturning every plot, preparing a higher place for you than the one where you now stand, so that when they look at you, they will not understand why you still smile, why you have not collapsed, why you remain calm while storms rage around you. But you will know, because I have lifted you from the ashes, turned your pain into strength, turned betrayal into blessing, turned ridicule into a stepping stone for you to go farther. I am the just one. Nothing that harms you escapes my sight. The words spoken behind your back, the secret schemes, the contemptuous glances, all of these are seen by me. Yet I do not want you to drown in resentment, for resentment is a chain that locks your heart. I did not call you to take revenge. I called you to rise, to be light, to go higher. Do not worry about vengeance, for vengeance belongs to me. I know when, I know how, and I know where justice will be carried out. All you need to do is keep your heart pure, your mind clear, your faith steadfast, and keep walking like a child holding the Father's hand, trusting that everything has already been arranged. Look back on your journey. Every pain you have endured has engraved steadfastness within you. Every old wound has taught you what no book could teach. Every time you were pushed down was another time you were lifted higher with a more mature soul. You are no longer who you once were. You have grown, become deeper, learned to hear my voice in the silence instead of seeking the noise of the world. I am preparing a new path for you, a place where peace will be your armor, love your strength, and wisdom the lamp that guides your way. You may not see it now, but I am turning everything meant to harm you into something that will lift you up. I am turning storms into launching pads, turning darkness into a stage where your light will shine even brighter. Those who wanted you to fall will witness the blessings I pour upon your life. Those who doubted you will have to admit that you stand not by your own power, but by my hand. When you keep peace, I will make truth resound louder than every lie. When you choose silence, I will cause their plans to collapse. When you place everything into my hands, you will see justice not as something distant, but as something drawing near. Do not be afraid when you feel alone on this path. Do not tremble when no one stands around you. Do not panic when everything seems to crumble. You are not alone. I am still here. I have never left you, and I never will. Do not look at your circumstances and forget that I am the one above every circumstance. Do not look at the storm and forget that I am the one who calms the storm. All you need to do is keep believing, keep your heart soft but not fragile. Keep your light but do not let others defile it. Keep your love but do not let it become a chain. You will see one day that everything which once hurt you will become proof of. My goodness. You will tell your story not in tears but in joy, because you will know that everything that happened has drawn you closer to me. Take my hand. Do not look back to where I am pulling you from. You no longer belong there. You no longer belong to old fears, old ties, old chains. You were created to go farther, to live higher, to love deeper. I will lead you to a new land where you will no longer live in defensive fear, but in true peace. You will learn to love without being drained, to give without losing yourself, to stand firm without closing your heart. This is what I planned for you from the beginning. A journey not merely to survive, but to shine, to be a living testimony of my enduring love in a changing world. When a heart betrayed does not turn to my light, it becomes like a once green garden, now abandoned weeds covering the path, darkness choking the sprouts of life. Revenge is that weed growing silently in the cracks of an unhealed soul, fed by tears not yet dried by sighs no one has understood, by broken faith that has never been restored. It does not arise in a single day or moment, but is nourished by every thought, every memory, every scar that refuses to fade. The more people imprison themselves in that memory, the more they lock their hearts in a windowless room until they themselves become prisoners of the anger they have created. When people embrace revenge, they believe they are holding a sword to claim justice. But in truth, that sword cuts into their own soul. They think making others suffer will heal their pain, but they do not know that pain is never healed by more pain. It is like trying to quench thirst with salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. They seek balance in retaliation, but what they receive is only the spiral of suffering, a closed circle, with no way out, spinning on until their soul is exhausted. There are souls that were once pure, gentle, able to smile with joy and to trust. But life, with its cuts, betrayals, and falls without a helping hand, has made them tremble, has broken their trust like a dry branch. In that moment, they could choose to return to me, to let me hold them, to wipe their tears and give them peace. But out of fear, out of pride, out of the whispers of darkness, they turn their back on the light and walk into the deep night alone. There they gather their broken pieces, forging them into a hardened shell, believing it to be strength. But in reality, it is only a wall blocking every ray of light that could save them. Pride is a cunning whisperer. It does not shout. It softly pours into the ear words full of allure. Do not let anyone see you weak. Do not let them think you have lost. Make them pay. At first, these whispers seem like medicine to help someone stand after a fall, but the longer they listen, the medicine becomes poison. It keeps them from letting go, from forgiving, from finding peace. It makes them see forgiveness as surrender, when in truth forgiveness is the only path out of the prison they have built for themselves. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is laying down the burden so that your hands are free to grasp peace. Forgiveness is not condoning wrong, but ceasing to let wrong keep your heart captive. Forgiveness is the power of someone who no longer allows pain to define them. It is the voice of a soul that has seen the truth, that anger, hatred, and revenge only make you lose more, never fill you up. When people forgive, they are not saying the wound never happened. They are saying the wound no longer has power over them. That is true strength, the strength to rise above pain, not sink into it. Those who have never felt unconditional love, never known mercy, often find it hard to give it to others. A heart never embraced will be clumsy in learning to embrace. A soul never soothed will be hesitant in soothing another. Thus many answer pain with pain and think it normal. They are like wanderers in the night, holding torches of fire without knowing the flame is burning them. They hide their weariness and heaviness beneath anger, hide their trembling under defiance, hide their fear of being hurt again behind a cold exterior. But I see it all. I see the fear behind every shout, the tear behind every forced smile, the trembling heart behind every cruel act. I know the story behind every heart bent on revenge. No one is born an enemy of love. Every soul is created with tenderness, with the breath of love. But life with its storms can fill a heart with darkness if that soul does not return to the light. And that darkness not only distances them from me, but from themselves. They forget who they once were, how soft, how gentle they once felt. They let pain shape their identity, until one day they see themselves only through the lens of their wounds. Revenge at its deepest core is not power, but a cry for help. It is the silent speech of a heart too hurt to find a healing hand. Behind every plan for retaliation, every bitter look, every harsh word is a child within, trembling, afraid, longing to be held and told, "You're okay. You can still be loved." But darkness does not heal. Darkness only hides. Darkness only multiplies fear and anger. And so revenge keeps birthing revenge like a river flowing backward, never reaching the sea of peace. I tell you, my child, let me be the one who holds justice. For I see what your eyes cannot see. I know the pain behind every act, the root of every sin, the weakness behind every rage. I am the only one who can balance everything without creating more pain. Justice in my hands is not only judgment, but healing. It does not merely put an end to evil, but opens the path of restoration for the soul. Humans cannot do this because they see through their wounds. Wounds make them blind, make them see only fragments of the truth, make them respond only out of self-protection. This is why I call my children to be humble, to lay down their swords, to let me do my work. For when you lay down the sword, your hands can open to receive peace. When you let go of revenge, you can grasp true freedom. If you look deeply into those who harbor revenge, you will see not only anger but fear. Fear of being hurt again, fear of being despised, fear of losing control. And that fear, if not brought into the light, becomes hatred. But when that fear is embraced, when that heart is led back to the light, hatred dissolves like night at dawn. Therefore, do not hate those who hate. Do not return hatred for hatred. Do not let their darkness spill into you. Keep your heart soft. Let it be the soil where my light can be sown, for only love can cut through the spiral of revenge. Only forgiveness can break the prison of pride. Only peace can heal the deepest wounds. And I, my child, am the source of all these things. My child, when you see people living in the flames of resentment, do not let your heart be clouded by contempt or judgment. Let your heart soften like dew on a leaf, so that you may glimpse the hidden pain they themselves cannot see. Do not let their bitterness become your anger. Instead, see them as wanderers in a long night, trying to find their way out of the labyrinth of their souls without a guiding light. When you look at them with compassionate eyes, you will understand that every harsh word, every violent act is only the silent cry of a weary soul. You will see that behind their hardened smile lie sleepless nights, days of minds besieged by anxiety, moments where they think they hold power, but are really sinking into their own fragility. You must know that a soul thirsting for revenge is like dry land craving water. They believe that thirst is quenched by the blood or failure of others, but the more they drink, the thirstier they become, sinking deeper into the abyss of bitterness. That is not strength, but invisible chains binding their hearts. They wear the face of determination, but in their deepest being they tremble like a lost child, for they have never known peace. Peace only comes when a person truly opens their heart for me to enter. You will see that only when the heart bows to love, only when it lets me cleanse it, can a person escape the cycle of anger and retaliation. When someone takes it upon themselves to judge, when they hold justice in their own hands in truth, they are attempting something only I can fulfill perfectly. Humanity, bound by its limitations, can see only the surface of events and measure only by its own subjective pain. But I see into the depths of the heart. I know the hidden causes and the frailties buried within. My justice is not only to punish, but also to heal, not only to correct, but also to restore. It is as pure as the waters at their source, untouched by the sediments of prejudice or wrath. Human vengeance, by contrast, is like a spreading fire. It consumes not only the one at whom it is aimed, but also scorches the soul of the one who wields the torch. You must etch this into your heart. It was not created to harbor hatred. Hatred is like an acid that corrodes the vessel, holding it before it harms anyone else. It seeps into the smallest corners of the soul, destroying even what is most pure. It weighs down your days, aging you not by time but by the slow burn of unhealed pain. You have seen many who grow harder with age, yet that is not wisdom. It is a heart turned to stone, bound to a wound that has never been allowed to heal. Understand that vengeance takes root when forgiveness is delayed, when you let anger imprison your heart for too long. A seed of anger may be as small as a moment of sadness when first planted, but if nourished by silence and pride, it will grow into a tree of hatred, its roots deep and its shadow stretching across your whole life. This is why I have always told you, forgive before the sun sets. Lay your anger down as you would a heavy stone from your shoulders. Do not go to sleep with a heart still crowded by hatred, for such sleep will never be deep, and when you awaken, you will find yourself more weary still. Forgiveness is not forgetting, nor is it indulgence. It is the act of handing judgment back to me, so that you may be free. Think of a river, child. Its waters are pure because they flow, never hoarding their sediment. A stagnant pond, however, soon begins to reek. So it is with your soul. If you let pain flow away, if you allow forgiveness to wash resentment from you, your heart will grow clear and light. But if you hold it back, tending it like a keepsake, it becomes a poison that kills your peace. Do not let one event make you a prisoner of yourself. Do not let the wrongdoing of another turn you into their likeness. Forgiveness is the only path that leads you out from the shadow of your wounds. You may ask, does forgiving quickly make me weak? I tell you no. Forgiveness is not surrender. It is the strength of a mature heart that dares to lay down the right of retaliation in order to choose peace. The one who forgives is not one who does not feel pain, but one who has risen above it. Forgiveness is not a gift to the one who has harmed you. It is first a gift you give yourself. It is how you keep your heart from being deformed, how you preserve its ability to love, to believe in goodness, even in a broken world. And you must also understand, when you forgive, you are working with me. You hand justice back into my care, allowing me to fulfill it in the most perfect way. You will see that my justice may not come at the moment you desire, but it always comes in its time, always with the purpose of lifting up rather than casting down. It teaches the lesson that must be learned, even as it frees you from the burden of being the judge. In that release you will discover true freedom. Therefore, my child, when you stand before someone filled with resentment, look upon them with eyes of mercy. See in them the shadow of a wounded child, once abandoned, once betrayed. Pray for them, that they too may find their way back to the light. For no soul is born dark, there are only souls lost too long. Do this not to feel superior, but so your heart still has room for love, so you do not become a mirror of what you despise. The more you forgive, the freer you become. The freer you are, the nearer you come to me. And only when you are near to me will you truly understand the peace that surpasses all understanding. Even if your days pass with the bitter echoes still lingering in your heart, do not let them harden into scars that block every path of love. Forgiveness is never easy. It is like a wound being washed with salt, painful at first, but ultimately it brings true healing, leaving no infection behind. Forgiveness opens the door to a land of peace where your soul is no longer bound by memories of harm. By contrast, if you refuse to forgive, you may feel as though power is in your hands, as though you stand above the one who hurt you. But that power is an illusion. It is a chain, invisible, yet tightening each day, dragging you deeper into resentment and isolation. Refusing to forgive is like imprisoning yourself in a cell of your own, making a prison where no enemy must suffer, only you as the sole captive. There are those who, unable to bear the seeming delay of justice, make themselves the judge, granting themselves the right to condemn. They nurture vengeance in their hearts, believing it the only way to reclaim what is fair. They sigh, God has forgotten me, or nothing happens to those who harm me. But they do not see that behind the veil of silence beats a heart of mercy. I have never forgotten a single thing you have endured. Every tear, every sigh I have seen. I am not slow as they imagine. My timing is not delay but perfection. Every moment I choose is calculated so that no soul loses the chance to turn back. Humanity calls it delay, but I call it mercy. Mercy for you and mercy for those who have harmed you. For I am not only your father, I am theirs as well. I love all, no matter what they have done, and I desire their return before they face the justice that cannot be escaped. But trust this, If they do not repent, my justice will still come certain and timely like the dawn that never fails. No one can forever flee the truth. Darkness may hide them for a time, but the light will always find its way. Vengeance often begins as a seed so small, sown by comparison. When people compare themselves to others, a seed of envy takes root. Instead of letting themselves be inspired by another's success or virtue, they let anger ignite within. That anger melts away what is good, turning envy to bitterness and bitterness to vengeance. But you must understand, many who try to harm you do not truly hate you. They hate the reflection of themselves. They see in you the reflection of what they have lost, of the dreams they have abandoned, of the person they could not become. Your peace is a mirror to their chaos. Your kindness exposes the cruelty they wish to hide. Your light dazzles the darkness in their hearts. This is why they strike at you, not because you have wronged them, but because you remind them of their voids, their wounds, their failures. That is why I tell you, never dim your light to comfort those who live in hatred. Do not remake yourself into another so that they may feel at ease. Do not shrink your heart because the world is too narrow to hold it. Keep shining, keep being kind, keep enduring, for the goodness in you is not weakness, it is the living strength of love and truth. Do not fear that your gentleness will be exploited. Gentleness is not weakness. It is a mirror reflecting the truth in another's heart. People may hate that truth, but they cannot destroy it. Do not let their bitterness stain your heart. Leave their bitterness to me. You need only guard your own heart as you would guard a sacred flame in the night. Each time you choose forgiveness over hatred, you declare that you are not defined by your pain, that you stand upon a firmer ground, the ground of love and freedom. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is courage. The courage to let go, to deny others the power to shape your future with the wounds of your past. Each time you choose gentleness, you proclaim to the world that darkness does not rule you, that you belong to the light. Never forget that on this journey you are not alone. I am always beside you, hearing every unspoken cry. The world may not see, but I see. People may not acknowledge, but I do. Trust that every tear of yours is precious. When you ache from forgiving, I uphold you. When you are weary of patience, I give you strength. When you feel lost in the dark, my light is the lighthouse guiding you. Do not fear delay, for I am never late. My justice may be quiet, but it is sure. And above all, I am teaching you a profound lesson, the lesson of love greater than hatred, the lesson of mercy stronger than any sentence. Let your heart become a gentle river flowing through every barren land. Even when stones are cast into it, its waters remain clear and continue to flow. Do not turn yourself into a stagnant pool filled with the mud of resentment. Let your heart be as free as the wind passing over mountains of trial without carrying the dust of anger. You cannot stop others from sowing bitter seeds into your life, but you can choose not to let them sprout within your soul. Leave every judgment to me, lay every needless battle at my feet. You need only keep walking in truth, in light, in kindness. I know you have endured many wounds, many misunderstandings, rejections and attacks, even when you only wished to bring goodness. But this proves that your light is strong enough to make the darkness tremble. Do not trade your light for darkness just to feel more comfortable. Do not let the bitterness of others define your worth. You were created to bear a peace that the world cannot take from you. Every step you take, every act of love you make, every time you choose forgiveness over revenge, you are planting new seeds, seeds of life, of hope, of freedom. And one day those seeds will bloom into a garden, not only sustaining you but healing even those who once harmed you. Remember, you cannot control the hearts of others, but you can govern your own. You cannot change another's darkness, but you can refuse to let it invade your light. You cannot dictate when justice arrives, but you can trust that it will arrive in my perfection. And most of all, you can choose love over hatred, forgiveness over vengeance, patience over haste. These choices set you apart, make you strong, and turn you into a living witness to the truth that light always triumphs over darkness. Though people often believe vengeance to be a natural instinct of self-preservation, it is in truth only the illusion of strength. They think themselves on high when they retaliate, but deep within their souls lie weariness, heaviness, and wounds that never close. Forgiveness is not closing your eyes to wrong, nor turning away from it. Forgiveness is the path by which your soul is freed from the chains of pain. When you forgive, you no longer carry on your shoulders the burden of injustice nor replay in your mind the memories that hurt you. You hand all of it back to me, the one who holds all justice and love, that I may take it away. This is not weakness, but great courage, the truest self-mastery the world seldom understands. Think again of a river. When a storm comes, its waters grow muddy and fierce. But after a time, if allowed to flow, it returns to clarity, gentle and life-giving. So it is with your heart. When offended, when wounded, your soul is like water stirred with silt. If you seek revenge, you stir it deeper, thickening the mud, making your heart ever more clouded. But if you let things settle, choose forgiveness, choose peace, stillness will gradually restore your soul's native clarity. Forgiveness is this process of self-cleansing. You do not do it for others, but for yourself, for your freedom, for the life awaiting you. There will be times when it troubles you to see those who harmed you. Remain calm, even happy. You may ask why you must forgive when they show no remorse. But forgiveness does not mean you admit they were right. Forgiveness is how you declare to yourself, you no longer control my mind. Forgiveness is the closing of the past to open a door to the future. The wise do not waste their lives paying for the mistakes of others. The wise use that time to build, to love, to move forward. The world may belittle forgiveness, considering it a sign of weakness or defeat, but look deeply into the history of humankind. Every war has begun with hatred and retaliation. Every broken family has its roots in wounds that were never forgiven. Every friendship that has dissolved began with a turning away born of pride. Yet those who dare to stop, who dare to accept the wound and choose love instead of vengeance, they are the ones truly strong. They interrupt the spiral of pain that spreads from one heart to another. Because of them, hope is still kindled. Because of them, this world has not yet been completely swallowed by darkness. I have already shown you the greatest example of the power of forgiveness, my son. When he was mocked, when he was beaten, when he was nailed to the cross, he still lifted his head and said, "Father, forgive them." That was not a weak utterance. It was the declaration of power, the triumph of love over hatred. His strength did not lie in destroying his enemies, but in freeing them from their own darkness. Do you see? That is the summit of freedom, the profound lesson I long for you to understand. Loving does not make you lose your strength. Loving is the very source of a strength that cannot be conquered. When you choose peace over retaliation, you are winning an invisible battle no one around you may notice. You are lifting your soul above worldly disputes. You have no need to prove your worth to anyone, for you belong to me. Your worth does not lie in human praise or criticism, but in the gaze with which I look upon you. The more you are at peace, the more you become noble in your humility, and in that very moment you stand unshaken before every storm. Remember, anger is like fire. It can warm if you know how to use it rightly, but it can also consume everything if you let it spread. Vengeance only feeds that fire, burning even you. Forgiveness is how you extinguish the flame before it destroys everything beautiful within you. Do not let your heart become a battlefield for another's hatred. Do not allow their poisonous words or cruel actions to turn you into someone you never wished to be. When they insult you, you need not answer. Your silence is not defeat, but a declaration that they hold no power to steal your peace. When they betray you, you forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve your own peace. When they slander you, let truth defend itself. Truth is never in haste. It will arise in its own time, more radiant than any justification. Your life will hold many trials, many temptations, drawing you toward darkness. Each time you stand at the crossroads between forgiveness and revenge, remember my whisper in your heart, let go and I will handle it. Letting go does not mean surrendering. It means trusting that true justice does not belong to you but to me. Letting go means believing that every event has a deeper purpose you cannot yet see. Letting go is opening your heart to light, refusing to remain imprisoned in your own shadows. Imagine if every heart in this world learned to forgive. How different would this world be? Wars would lose their fire, relationships would be healed, those who were once enemies would become companions. Forgiveness is the key that opens the door to peace. It is not the luxury of a few noble souls, but the only path by which humanity can advance, and you are part of this work. Each time you forgive, you are laying a stone in the foundation of a better world. My child, do not fear that forgiveness will make you weak or despised. Each time you forgive, you rise higher than the one who harmed you. Each time you choose love, you are changing the world a little. You do not need to shout to prove it. Simply act quietly. I see and I know. There will come a time when I will show you the fruit of your perseverance, but even when you cannot yet see it, you may believe that what you are doing is never in vain. I want you to know that true strength does not lie in clenched fists, but in the heart that can release. True victory is not in subduing others, but in overcoming yourself. True peace is not the absence of storms, but the ability to stand calm in their midst and still smile. You have learned, are learning, and will continue to learn this lesson with each step of your life. And I am always with you, always near, to lift you when you are weary, to remind you when you stray, to dry your tears when you cry alone. You are never alone on this journey. Let my words become a quiet source of strength within you. Let each act of forgiveness be a moment you grow in peace, a moment you draw nearer to the light. Let your heart be the soil where the seeds of love are sown and bloom. This is the way you truly live. A life unchained by hatred, unhindered by pain, always moving toward freedom, toward peace, toward the light I have prepared for you. My beloved child, in every sigh of weariness you breathe, I see and hear the cry of your soul. I know you are longing for change, for a glimmer of hope in the heavy night. You have not been abandoned nor ignored. You are being held in my arms, placed in a quiet space for healing, for preparation for the journey ahead. Like a seed lying still in the dark soil before it breaks forth, you too are in a silent yet meaningful season. The loneliness you feel is not a sign of rejection, but of deep and careful concern. I am quietly arranging every detail of your life, removing what could harm you, blocking dangers you have not yet noticed. Do not fear this silence, for within it is my love and protection greater than anything you can imagine. You may wonder why doors once open have suddenly closed, why relationships once close have dissolved, why opportunities you hoped for have slipped away. But my child, do you not know that I close those doors to open others, larger, brighter, more fitting for you? You have not lost. You are being prepared. What you think is rejection is my gentle hand leading you out of dead ends, guiding you to a smoother, sunlit path. Do not blame circumstances. Do not blame yourself, for all is unfolding according to a perfect plan you cannot yet see. Every departure, every loss, carries a lesson and a promise. You will come to understand that I never take away what is truly yours. I remove only what was never meant for you, so there is room for what is worthy. You are entering a new season, a season of peace, of blessing, of beautiful opportunities and sincere souls. But to step into it, you must lighten your heart, release unnecessary burdens, accept that some things, no matter how much you love them, cannot travel with you to the end. That is not failure, it is transition. It is not punishment, it is protection. I know your tender heart, I know your silent tears, I know how you have pleaded for what was unworthy to remain. But my child, obedience now is the key to your freedom. When you let go, you are not only releasing what is unsafe, but opening space for the new things I have prepared. Do not fear standing alone. Your current solitude is not a period, but a comma in your story. It gives you time to listen to yourself, to heal your wounds, to recover the strength you thought you had lost. If you stand firm in this season, you will find yourself stronger, braver, deeper. You will see your smile return, your eyes regain their light, and your heart open again. But this time you will not love blindly. You will not trust unwisely. You will not cling to what harms your soul. You will love with discernment, and you will be loved by faithful, gentle hearts, those whom I am quietly sending one by one at the right time. Believe that I am never late. I never forget your prayers, the dreams you keep hidden in your heart. I never leave you alone on the thorny road of life. Every step you take I watch. Every tear you shed I dry. Every sigh you breathe I hear. I am not only your guide, I am your refuge, your safe harbor to which you can return at any time. You do not have to fight alone. You do not have to face the darkness by yourself. Even when you cannot feel me, I am there, arms open, steadfastly waiting for you. You must remember that not everyone can walk with you for your whole journey. Some come only for a season to teach you lessons to help you grow, and then they leave. Some come to test your patience, your wisdom, your stability, and some I have chosen to stay longer to support you, to walk beside you. But I cannot send them while you are still clinging to the old, still holding on to what is past. Letting go is not loss. Letting go is how you open your hands to receive new blessings. When you trust me, you will no longer fear change. You will see all comings and goings with a peaceful heart, knowing all has a purpose. All is for your good. My beloved child, let these words be like dew upon your soul, like the morning sun dispersing the heavy night. Do not let fear, doubt, or old wounds imprison you any longer. Rise, breathe deeply, and believe that your new season is near. Even if you cannot yet see it, even if all before you is still vague, keep moving forward with courage. You are on your way to the place where peace dwells, where true love abides, where you will find yourself in your most beautiful form. Do not rush, do not be impatient. Everything will arrive in its right time in the best way when you are ready. I love you with a love unconditional, unchanging, without limit. I see not only who you are now, but who you are becoming, stronger, brighter, happier. You are not merely a child enduring, you are a seed being nurtured. You are not merely one who waits, you are one being prepared. And when the time comes, you will understand everything. You will look back with compassionate eyes. You will give thanks for every loss, every tear, every closed door, for all has shaped who you are today. You will stand in your new season and say, "Thank you for I did not give up. Thank you for I trusted. Thank you for I let go. You are the child I ceaselessly love, cherish, and guide." Do not let the night make you forget the light. Do not let loneliness make you forget my presence. Keep walking, my child, for you have never once been forgotten. You are in my hand, and that is the safest, most beautiful place to wait, to heal, to be transformed, and to be prepared for a new journey full of peace and blessing. My child, you must know that forgiveness is not only a noble act, but the only path by which the soul reaches complete freedom. When you choose to hold anger, you are in truth locking yourself in an invisible prison. Sometimes we think that if we cling to pain, if we feed hatred, we are protecting ourselves from being hurt again. But my dear, that is an illusion. A heart full of hatred is like a house with all its windows and doors barred. No light can enter, no fresh wind can reach it. In that suffocating darkness, your soul will wither, losing the life I gave you from the beginning. Forgiveness is opening the door, letting light and air rush in, letting your heart breathe again after long days of gloom. When you forgive, you do not lower your own value. On the contrary, you raise yourself above the ordinary. Forgiveness demands courage far beyond the strength of muscle or intellect. A single blow may knock down an enemy in seconds, but only forgiveness has the power to conquer the proud self within you, that which is harder to subdue than any foe. Forgiveness is the greatest victory, for it brings peace both to the giver and the receiver. And if the other does not receive it, at least you have freed yourself from the invisible chains of resentment. Remember, each time you forgive, you become a little more like me. I am love, I am mercy, and my heart is always open to welcome the wayward. When you walk in the spirit of forgiveness, you reflect that light to the world. This life already holds enough darkness, enough hatred, enough war. Even a single heart willing to forgive can kindle a small light, and that light will spread farther than you imagine. Never think forgiveness is only a private matter. It is a seed sown into the earth, and one day it will grow into a tree of shelter for many. You must also understand this: forgiveness does not deny the pain. It does not ask you to pretend that you were never wounded. On the contrary, forgiveness is facing the wound itself, acknowledging the truth that you have been hurt, and then deciding not to let that wound rule your life any longer. Forgiveness is the way you reclaim mastery over your own heart. If you keep holding on to your pain, you give power to the one who harmed you. But if you let go, you are declaring, "You no longer have power over me." That is strength, the authority that only love can bring. At times you will feel forgiveness is impossible, because the wound is too deep, the betrayal too cruel. You may think, how can I let go when they have never apologized, never shown remorse? My dear, forgiveness is not because they deserve it, but because you deserve freedom. If you wait for them to change before you forgive, you are placing your happiness in their hands. But when you forgive, regardless of their indifference, you are giving yourself the gift of peace. Forgiveness is not for their benefit first, but to free yourself from the prison of resentment. Look to nature to learn this lesson. A storm may break branches and tear at trees, but when the sun rises, the tree sprouts again, puts forth leaves again. If the tree clung to its brokenness, it would never be green again. So it is with your soul. There will be events that shatter your trust, that break your heart, but you must learn to grow back, to rise again. That regrowth is forgiveness. It does not erase the memory, but it transforms memory into wisdom, turns suffering into the strength to live on. Do not imagine forgiveness as something that happens once for all. Sometimes you will have to forgive again and again, every day, every hour, because memories return and wounds may bleed once more. But each time you forgive, you take another step on the path of healing. This is not failure, but the training of your soul. Forgiveness is like building a bridge. You lay one stone at a time, day by day, until at last you cross to the shore of freedom. And you must also learn to forgive yourself. Often you blame yourself for past mistakes, for lost opportunities, for letting others hurt you. Remember, you are only human. If I, your Creator, can love and forgive you without condition, why would you not open your heart to yourself? Self-forgiveness is the first step that gives you the strength to forgive others. A heart that continually condemns itself finds it very hard to open in forgiveness toward others. Forgiveness does not take justice from you. My justice still stands, but it is not a justice that gratifies rage. It is a justice that instructs and restores. When you hand judgment back to me, you may rest assured that all things will be set right in the fairest way. You do not need to carry that burden, for your shoulders were never made to bear it. Let them be light so they may still embrace, still uphold, still stretch wide in love for others. Therefore, my child, when anger rises, when you feel the pull of vengeance, remember my words today. Breathe deeply, pray, and loosen the hand that clenches tight. Do not let the sun go down with your anger still in your heart. Let the night come to you with a peaceful spirit, so your sleep is no longer haunted, so you awaken with new light. Forgive swiftly, not because you are weak, but because you are stronger than your pain, and only then will you truly walk in the peace I have promised you. My beloved, I want you to take a deep breath and release everything that weighs upon your chest. Be patient with yourself, for you are not a stone without feeling incapable of mistakes. You are human, a soul in growth, and the journey requires stumbles, tears. You wipe away yourself and standing up again. Do not torment yourself over the past, nor name yourself with words of blame. Mistakes do not define you. They are lessons that make you wiser, stronger, and deeper. You have fallen, but you are not staying in the mud. You are rising bit by bit, and I see every effort. Do not let others judge you, nor let the inner negative voice persuade you that you are unworthy. I do not look at you with anger or reproach. I look at you with mercy and tenderness. I see my child trying, and in each small step, I see courage. You are growing, you are healing, and even if you think you are slow, you are exactly where I want you to be at this moment. I am the one who holds time, and your whole process is in my hands. You may think you are lost, but you are on the precise path of maturity I have planned. Trust the timing, for my timing is not like yours. Do not let impatience uproot the seed before it sprouts. I hear every whispered prayer. Not a single word falls to the ground without reaching me. Every tear you shed I see and keep like precious jewels in a golden vessel. You are not alone in your suffering. I have walked with you in every trembling heartbeat. Nothing you do in love is wasted, even when the world does not receive it, even when you see no immediate result. Every small act done in kindness I record. I am proud of how you have faced pain and yet kept goodness. I am proud of your strength to forgive while others let go and walk away. I am proud of your heart even when you think it weak. Do not call your softness weakness. It is a rare strength in this world. You are my child, and I am with you today as yesterday and forevermore. You are not merely someone walking through pain. You are a warrior being trained by love and mercy. Now I want you to be stronger, not by freezing your heart, but by awakening, by recognizing, by no longer deceiving yourself. Do not doubt what I am showing you inwardly. You have felt it in your spirit, a gentle but persistent unease like a soft wind brushing you. That is not imagination. It is the warning bell I am ringing for you. I am exposing what is hidden, so you do not step wrongly. You have seen the small signs, sudden changes, secret messages, strange silences, bursts of anger, without cause, a false calm like a frozen lake, with currents rushing beneath. Do not ignore them, my love. Do not assume they are coincidences. Nothing is random when I am trying to awaken you. I am giving you the chance to step away before the storm arrives. That is my love for you, warning beforehand to spare you deeper wounds. Do not fear solitude. Do not think of loneliness as punishment. Sometimes solitude is the safest place, the desert where I speak most clearly, the space where you escape the noise to hear my voice. With me, loneliness turns to rest. Solitude with me is safer than company with those who wish to harm you. I will not let you lack when you choose to trust me. I am enough for you, not by taking all relationships away, but by becoming the foundation, so you are no longer dependent on what is untrustworthy. When you trust me completely, I will fill every empty space with my presence. You will no longer feel hollow as before. You will begin to see yourself whole, not because of anyone else, but because my life is poured into you. You will find a peace no one can give. That peace does not depend on the attitude of others, nor on outward circumstances. It flows like a stream from within, regardless of the weather, regardless of the storm. When you have that peace, no lie, no plot, no betrayal can touch your core. You will be like a tree planted by the water, its leaves unfading, unshaken by wind. You will watch the storm pass and find yourself still standing. I am preparing for you a blessing no enemy can hinder. You need not grasp. You need not fight in despair. You need only walk trust and let me open the door. My beloved, do not think this is merely moral advice. This is an invitation to step into a deeper level of trust. I do not only wish to protect you from this man, I want to lift you out of the old pattern where you give too much trust too quickly, sacrifice without discernment. I want to teach you that true love must walk with wisdom. Love does not make you blind. It makes you see clearer, discerning truth from falsehood. When you learn this lesson, you will no longer see yourself as a victim of exploitation, but as one who holds authority over her life with me. I know loneliness tightens your heart. I know you long for a shoulder, a hand. But before I give you that, I want you to learn to stand firm in my fullness, so when I bring the right person, you will not offer your heart as something begged for, but as a free gift, not dependent. That is the true freedom I want for you. You will no longer be swept away by false smiles or deceived by empty promises. You will see the signs, hear the warnings, and walk with peace without regret. My beloved, every step now is for healing and preparation. Do not compare your pace to anyone else. Do not blame yourself for the times you step back. You are exactly where I want you to be at this moment. You are not late. You are moving to my rhythm. I am the one who has engraved your name on the palm of my hand. You are never out of my sight. Do not worry that I do not hear your prayers. I hear each one, see every tear, and am turning them into seeds for a new harvest. Nothing you do in love is ever in vain. No gesture you sow escapes my multiplication in my own way. I am proud of you, of your steadfast kindness, of how you have remained soft in the storm, of how you have forgiven when others turned away. You think your heart is weak, but in truth it is strong because it has never grown bitter. Real strength is not in becoming hard, but in still loving, still forgiving, still hoping when there is no reason left. You have that strength, and I see it. I not only am proud, I rejoice that you are my child. Keep trusting my love. Do not fear the changes ahead. Do not cling to what I am removing from your hands. Do not think I am taking to punish you. I am taking to give you what no one can steal. I am leading you through a narrow way, but it opens into wide space. When you look back, you will see that every small sign I pointed out, every departure I allowed, every solitude I led you into, all were stepping stones to bring you into a blessing no enemy could touch. You will stand on new ground with a heart no longer shattered as before, with eyes no longer veiled by fear. You will know that everything happened not to destroy you, but to build you. You will look back at that man not with anger but with peace, because you will know I rescued you before the storm arrived. You will be grateful to yourself for listening, for daring to walk away, for trusting me in the hard time. And above all, you will realize that in every moment when you prayed, when you wept, when you were silent, when you doubted, I was still there waiting for you to return and place everything in my hands. This is my word for you today. Be patient with yourself. Trust my timing. Let me work. Do not rush, do not fear. I have seen everything, known everything, and prepared everything. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not a mistake. You are the process. I am lifting up the story. I am writing the testimony of my grace in this world. You will be whole. You will be at peace. You will be blessed, and you will no longer tremble before any hidden enemy, because you will have learned the greatest lesson to trust and to rest in my arms. My beloved child, there are moments when you feel as though you stand alone, surrounded by suspicious eyes and whispered words, but I want you to know this. All those who once tried to break you will one day stand and watch you rise like a green shoot pushing through hard soil, like a radiant light tearing through the darkness. When that moment comes, you will not need to speak a word, nor explain yourself, nor prove anything with cries or arguments. The peace on your face, the abundance in your life, the serene smile upon your lips will become the strongest testimony. It will not echo as revenge, but as a witness to my love, my faithfulness, and my justice. I will pour blessings upon you in a way no one can take away, for these blessings do not come from human will, but from my giving, the one who holds everything in my hands. No one can steal what I have destined for you, for what I have sealed no one can unseal, what I have placed no one can lift away. But my child, remember that this blessing is not a cheap gift handed out carelessly. It requires obedience, a willingness to place me above your own emotions and comforts. I know that obeying me sometimes feels like pain, as though you are leaving behind a piece of your heart, as though you are relinquishing the familiar that once supported you. I know every tear you shed when you must let go, when you must walk away from what I've asked you to leave. But understand this, I never ask you to release anything unless it harms your soul or hinders you from reaching the place I've prepared for you. Obedience may wound you for a moment, but it protects you from a ruin that lasts. It is like cutting off a diseased branch so the tree may remain healthy, like stepping through a narrow door to reach a vast open land beyond. Trust me even when you do not yet understand. Trust me even when you cannot yet see the path. Do not look back in regret, and do not let your heart be tangled in the questions of why, while I am drawing you out of the depths. One day you will see that this very moment was the turning point of your life. One day when you stand in the light, when the storm has passed, you will look back on today as the day I saved you from what could have destroyed your peace. You will tell others, not with tears but with gratitude, that the moment of your greatest pain was also the moment of your greatest rescue. My child, I am proud of you for not letting go. I am proud that you have remained standing, though life has tried many times to break you. I have seen you pray when no one was watching. I have seen you weep in silence, yet choose love over bitterness. Every time you kneel to pray, though, unseen heaven records it. Every time you choose forgiveness over revenge, I see it and hold it in my heart. This is why I will bless you beyond what you expect, not because you are perfect, but because you have been faithful, not because you are strong, but because you have remained humble and trusted me in your weakness. This is why I am protecting you now, covering you with unseen arms. You may not yet see it, but you can feel the peace seeping into your soul. You are too precious to me to be harmed by the bitterness of others. Be at peace, my child. I will fight for you. I will shelter you. As a mother shelters her infant, as an eagle covers its young with its wings. I will expose deceit, not for your gloating, but so that justice may be revealed. I will bring truth into the light, not to make you proud, but to show you that all things rest in my hands. All you need to do is hold your faith like one carrying a small lamp through the night, unsure of the path ahead, but knowing this one thing: with light in your hand, you will not lose your way. Do not panic, for panic makes you forget I am beside you. Do not fear, for fear blinds you to my providence. Do not rush, for haste leads you away from the path I've drawn. Stay near me, not only with lips that pray, but with a heart lifted up, with a mind stilled with your presence anchored in every moment. I am walking beside you, holding your hand through it all. I have not promised there will be no storms, but I have promised the storms cannot drown you while you hold my hand. Soon this danger will pass. Soon this storm will fade. Soon you will look back and smile through tears of gratitude, realizing that what I took away was in truth the greatest gift I could give you. I never take anything without giving you something better. I never close a door without preparing a larger, brighter one to lead you into a safer place. But to step through that new door, you need empty hands, an open heart, and a soul ready to receive. Do not cling to what is old as though it were your salvation, for it may be a chain. Do not hold tightly to what no longer belongs to you, as though it were your lifeline, for it may be a weight slowing your steps. Let go in, trust that I am working for your good. Be humble, for humility opens the door to blessings. Be pure, for purity makes your heart light enough to receive the new. Be faithful, for faithfulness makes you like a tree planted by streams of water, unshaken even by storms. Keep your heart tender, yet watchful, tender to love, watchful to avoid being misused, soft enough to lift others, steadfast enough not to break under the wind. Continue praying not only when you need, but as your daily breath. Continue trusting not only when things are easy, but even in hardship. For in the darkest moments, faith becomes the lamp that lights your path. You will see everything I am doing in your life today is part of a greater picture. You can only see sketches, but I see the entire masterpiece. You know only the present, but I know the future. You feel the pain, but I already see the healing. Do not let your short vision obscure my infinite vision. Do not let passing feelings dim my eternal plan. One day when you stand in the place I promised, you will understand why I led you through this path. You will understand why I had to take away to give, why I had to close doors to open others. And you will know I never abandoned you, never stayed silent, never stopped working for you. Then you will no longer praise me with only your lips, but with your whole heart, because you have tasted my goodness not as theory, but as life itself. So now, my beloved, walk in peace. Let me guide you even if the way is not yet bright. Let me carry you even if your feet are tired. Let me love you even when you feel unworthy. Trust me even when you do not understand. Keep your heart soft, your hands open, your eyes fixed on me. And then you will see those who once wanted you to fall will watch you stand. Those who doubted you will acknowledge the blessing upon your life. The pains that once made you weep will become the stories that lift others. I am here. I am still here. I will always be here. Do not fear. Do not rush. Do not look back. Trust me, for you are in the midst of transformation, and what I am doing surpasses anything you can imagine. Your peace, your success, your smile will be my song in your life, and you will be the living witness of my unchanging love. Your life story is still unfolding like a long river whose far shore is unseen, but at its very beginning I was there, placing a promise within your heart. Do not think the storms you have endured are the end. They are only the prelude to a deeper journey where peace and love await you like dawn after night. I see you when your heart trembles in the dark. I hear the sighs you speak to no one, and I am there beside you, even when you have yet to notice. You are not alone, not lost. You are walking within the story. I am writing, with you, a story with no chapter abandoned, no page untouched by my hand. Every heartbeat of yours, every tear that falls, I know, and I also know the good that is coming to you. Do not fear the unseen future, for I have already seen it, and I know it is wrapped in my protection and grace. You will step into new days with peace, like a sweet stream flowing into your soul with love, like a gentle wind caressing your face with safety, like a warm cloak upon your shoulders in the coldest nights. No weapon formed to harm you will prevail. No accusation will dim your worth. No enemy can touch your soul while you are in me. I am your Father, the one who saw you before you were born, the one who set an unchanging seal upon your heart, and I will never forsake you. When you are weak, I uphold you. When you are lost, I guide you. When you are hurt, I soothe you. You may be exhausted, stumble, or feel confused, but I am never exhausted, never stumbling, never confused about you. I am your fortress, your refuge, the hand that never lets go. I have never failed, never given up, never left one of your breaths unnoticed. Tonight I say to you, stop worrying, lay down the burdens you have carried too long. Let the racing thoughts cease, let your heart be still like a lake without ripples. Do not hold on to memories that wound you. Do not clutch names and faces that have become thorns in your heart. You do not need to carry everything yourself. Place them into my hands like a child placing a heavy stone into the hands of a strong father. I will bear it all. I will handle it all. I will turn what once terrified you into lessons that make you steady. You need only this: keep your heart soft and kind, untainted by bitterness. Do not let the storms of others sweep you away. Even if those around you are drowning in vengeance, even if their eyes burn with hatred, let the love within you be the lamp that guides your way and theirs. You are not required to fix everything, to prove everything, to bear all the darkness. Your task is simply to stay near me and let me do the rest. Trust me when I say that no one can take away your light while you are in me. Trust me when I say you are safe in my arms, even when storms rage around you. Trust me when I say peace is not an external place, but a stream within, placed there by me, in your heart. When you give me your pain, you lose nothing, you only grow lighter. When you give me your memories, you do not forget them. You simply stop letting them define you. When you hand me the names and faces of those who hurt you, you give me the chance to turn them into doors leading you into freedom. You no longer need to shrink in a dark room or wear a mask of strength to hide your tears. You may be weak in my arms, for here weakness is upheld, pain is healed, fear is replaced with trust. You no longer need to defend yourself with thorns, seek justice through vengeance, or build walls of pride. You can breathe deeply, rest fully, sleep peacefully, knowing there is one who never sleeps watching over you. I know you have trembled, doubted, wanted to give up. I know you have looked toward the horizon and seen no light, wondered if anyone heard your voice. And I was there, right in the midst of those moments. I have never been far, never discouraged about you, never seen you as a failure. Every time you fell, I did not look away. Every time you wept, I did not turn my back. Every time you tried to rise, I was there giving you strength. You may not feel me, but I do not vanish. You may be silent, but I still hear. You may doubt, but I remain patient. You live in a world where many choose hatred over love, revenge over forgiveness, self-protection through thorns over openness. But you are not like them. You are not called to be a copy of that darkness. You are called to live differently, to carry light while surrounded by night, to be a witness to another truth: that love can be stronger than hate, that forgiveness can break the cycle of pain, that peace can sprout even in dry ground. You cannot change everyone, but you can guard your heart from being reshaped by darkness. You can choose not to feed anger, not to clutch revenge, not to let the pain of others define you. You can choose love, choose kindness, choose closeness to me. And when you do, you will not only free yourself, but become a small flame that warms and guides other trembling souls. Tonight, as you lay your head down, know that you are covered. Even if someone plots against you, they cannot touch your soul or steal the peace I have placed within you. Even if words are hurled at you, they cannot pierce the cloak I have wrapped around you. You do not need to fight alone, stay awake in fear, or strain to appear strong. You only need to rest in my arms, where there is no more noise, only the heartbeat of peace, where every anxiety melts like mist before the morning Sunday. I want you to know this: even when the world around you shakes, I remain unshaken. Even when you see everything changing, I remain unchanged. Even when you feel lost, you have not lost me. Even when you do not know where you are going, I know where you are. This is why you can be at ease, release your fears, and let your heart soften after years of holding it tight. You can let love return to your breath, let peace flow like a cool stream through your chest. You can believe that no night is so long the dawn cannot come, no pain so deep that love cannot reach. And my child, I say this to you: you are my beloved. You are not defined by your wounds, not measured by your failures, not bound by your past. You are on a journey where every step you take, I walk with you. You are moving toward a place where peace, love, and safety are no longer distant promises, but a living reality overflowing. You need not fear the darkness, for you are walking with the light. You need not tremble before hatred, for you are living in love. You need not shrink back from vengeance, for you are wrapped in grace. All you need is to keep your heart tender, to let me guide you, to let me protect you. Rest tonight, my child. Lay down every burden, every memory, every name that has wounded you. Let me take care of it all. You are safe, you are loved, you are held in arms that will never let go. You may sleep without fear, wake without despair, walk without trembling. For I am with you, and I will never allow the enemy to touch your soul. Let the love within you be the answer to every darkness outside. Let my peace be the strong wall surrounding you. Let kindness be the flame that keeps you warm through the long night. You are safe, you are loved, and you are living in the story where the final victory belongs to the light. In this very moment, as your heart grows still, offer me the prayers buried deep within your soul with all the sincerity and longing you hold for me. Almighty God, who created me with your very breath, I offer to you my weary soul. Come to me in the moments when I feel weakest and most helpless. Place your hand upon my heart to heal the wounds I dare not tell anyone. Teach me to be patient with myself, not to punish myself for past failures, but to learn how to rise again each time I fall. Help me to know that every small step I take, every silent prayer I whisper, every tear I shed reaches you and is never in vain. Merciful Father, who watches every step I take in the darkness today, I open my heart to you. I have seen the signs. You have shown the sudden changes, the unexplained anger, the double-edged words. Please grant me eyes to discern, ears to hear, your voice and strong feet to step out of places that do not belong to me. Help me not to tremble before loneliness, but to find peace in your presence, for being alone with you is safer than being with those who intend me harm. Beloved Lord Jesus, who endured all suffering for me, I offer to you the hidden desires of my heart, my dreams, my plans, my wounds, and my hopes. Cover them as a mother covers her child. Teach me wisdom that I may not open my heart carelessly, but keep what is sacred in the sanctuary of my soul, sharing only with you and those truly sent by you. Help me to love without blindness, forgive without naivety, and be generous without becoming a victim of misuse. God of mercy, who sees my silent tears each night, please come and wipe them away. Uproot from within me every fear, insecurity, and sense of worthlessness, that I may know I am your child, and that no flaw can separate me from your love. Grant me peace beyond understanding, so that I no longer run to others for refuge, but stand firm on the foundation of your love. Lord, who holds every moment in your hands, I offer you all my waiting. Teach me to trust in your timing, not to rush, not to fear that I am late. Open my eyes to see that every closed door, every loss is your protection over me. Give me a heart patient enough not to chase what you are removing from my hands, and strong enough to stand still until the blessing you have prepared is revealed. God of life, I offer you my loneliness. Transform it into a place of deep encounter between you and me. Teach me to hear your voice in the silence, to recognize your presence in every breath. Fill the empty spaces of my heart with your new life, so that I no longer feel hollow but whole, filled with peace and hope. Almighty God, I thank you that though I have fallen many times, you have waited patiently for me to rise. I thank you that every tear I shed is not forgotten, but turned by you into water to nourish the seeds of faith. I thank you that you do not look upon me with reproach, but with compassion and patience. Loving Father, I thank you for the doors you have closed in my life, the relationships you have allowed to pass, the dangers you have stopped before I even knew them. I thank you that loneliness is no longer an empty place, but has become the space where I meet you, where you speak to me in the gentlest voice. I know all these things are your protection and preparation. Eternal God, I thank you for giving me a tender heart that still loves and forgives even in a harsh world. I thank you for teaching me to love with wisdom, to forgive with awareness, and to trust with peace. I thank you for turning my weakness into strength. Lord, my source of peace, I thank you that you are preparing for me a blessing no enemy can hinder. I thank you that you do not leave me empty, but fill my emptiness with your presence. I thank you that you are enough for me, and in you I find completeness, peace, and hope for the future. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can build a strong community of faith.